When I think about the projects that have consistently brought both satisfaction and steady income over my 20 years in woodworking, the Easy Wood Spirit Birdhouse stands out as one of those rare creations that balances simplicity, creativity, and market appeal, because it proves that you don't need complex joinery or expensive materials to create something that people genuinely love and are willing to buy. And for woodworkers who want to turn their skills into sellable art without losing the joy of the craft, welcome back to the channel, where simple wood projects turn into meaningful creations that people truly love. Today we're talking about an Easy Wood Spirit Birdhouse that actually sells, not because it's complicated, but because it connects. After 20 years in woodworking, I've learned that the projects with the most heart often bring the best results, and this one proves that you don't need perfection or fancy tools to create something full of character and value. If you're a woodworker looking for inspiration that blends creativity with real-world success, you're in the right place. This project is a perfect example of how understanding your audience and your material can make all the difference. Because a spirit birdhouse isn't just a functional object for birds. It's a character, a personality carved into wood, something that feels alive, whimsical, and welcoming. And that emotional connection is exactly why it sells so well at craft fairs, online shops, and local markets. And after years of watching customer reactions, I can tell you that people don't buy birdhouses because they need them. They buy them because they feel something when they see them. And spirit birdhouses tap into that feeling beautifully, because they blend nature, folklore, and handmade charm into one approachable piece. And from a woodworking perspective, they are forgiving projects, which makes them ideal for both beginners and experienced makers looking to produce consistently without burnout. Because the design welcomes imperfections, knots become noses, cracks become smiles, and uneven textures add character rather than reducing value. And this mindset shift is crucial if you want to create pieces that sell, because perfection often looks cold, while personality feels warm and human. And when you approach a spirit birdhouse, the first thing you learn after making a few is that the wood itself often suggests the face, the posture, and the mood. And instead of forcing a rigid design, you let the grain guide you. And this not only speeds up your process, but also ensures that no two houses are ever the same, which customers absolutely love, because uniqueness becomes a selling point rather than a challenge. And over time, you begin to understand which woods work best: softer species that carve easily and weather well, pieces with visible grain and natural defects that add visual interest, and sizes that feel substantial enough to justify the price without becoming heavy or time-consuming to produce. And as you refine your workflow, you realize that an Easy Spirit Birdhouse can be completed efficiently while still feeling handcrafted, because the carving is suggestive rather than detailed, focusing on expressive shapes rather than fine realism. And that's where many woodworkers make a mistake early on, spending too much time chasing detail that customers don't necessarily notice, when what they actually respond to is the overall expression: the eyes, the tilt of the roof, the gentle curve of the mouth, and the feeling that this little wooden spirit is quietly watching over the garden. And from a sales perspective, this is powerful, because people imagine it in their own space, hanging from a tree, mounted on a fence, or placed near a porch. And that imagination drives purchasing decisions far more than technical explanations ever could. And as a woodworker, learning to think this way transforms how you design, because you start asking not just how to build something, but how it will make someone feel when they see it for the first time. And spirit birdhouses excel here because they appeal to a wide audience, from gardeners and bird lovers to people who simply appreciate rustic decor and folk art. And this broad appeal makes them reliable sellers, especially when you keep the design approachable and the price accessible. And over the years, I've learned that consistency is key, because while each piece should be unique, having a recognizable style helps build trust and repeat customers. And spirit birdhouses are perfect for developing that signature look. Whether it's a certain way you carve the eyes, a distinctive roof shape, or a finish that highlights the grain without overpowering it. And speaking of finish, This is another area where experience teaches restraint. Because outdoor pieces need protection, but they also need to breathe, and customers appreciate a natural look that weathers gracefully rather than something sealed so heavily it looks artificial. And when you explain this to buyers, they often connect even more with the piece, because they understand it's meant to age, to change, and to become part of their outdoor environment. And this storytelling aspect is something many woodworkers overlook. But it's incredibly important if you want your work to sell consistently, because people love knowing the story behind what they buy, and spirit birdhouses lend themselves naturally to storytelling, because they already feel like characters with quiet personalities. And when you present your work this way, whether in person or through a video, you're not just selling a birdhouse, you're offering a small piece of handmade magic. And for those of you watching who are thinking about production, one of the biggest advantages of this project is scalability, because once you understand the basic form, you can adjust size, expression, and details without reinventing the process each time, which means you can work efficiently while still keeping your creativity engaged. And that balance is essential for long-term woodworking success, because burnout happens when projects feel repetitive and uninspired. But spirit birdhouses avoid that by inviting small variations that keep the work fresh. And after 20 years, I can tell you that the projects that last are the ones that leave room for play, for discovery, and for personal expression. And this is especially important if you're selling your work, because customers can sense when a piece was made with enjoyment rather than obligation, and that energy carries through. And as you gain confidence, you'll start to notice how small design decisions affect sales, how slightly larger eyes feel friendlier, how a deeper roof overhang adds charm, how a subtle tilt makes the piece feel curious rather than static. And these are lessons you can only learn by making and observing, by listening to feedback, and by trusting your instincts as a maker. And one of the most rewarding moments is seeing someone smile when they pick up a spirit birdhouse, because that smile tells you everything you need to know about why this project works. And for woodworkers who want to grow, this project also teaches valuable lessons about pricing, time management, and valuing your skill, because even though the birdhouse is easy to make, it carries years of experience in every cut, every decision, and every finish choice. And learning to price that fairly is part of becoming a professional craftsman. And as your reputation grows, so does your ability to refine your designs, introduce limited variations, or create themed pieces that still stay true to the core idea. And this flexibility keeps your offerings interesting without complicating your workflow. And from a teaching perspective, spirit birdhouses are also wonderful because they encourage new woodworkers to pick up carving tools without fear, to experiment, to accept imperfections, and to learn by doing. And that's something our craft needs, because woodworking thrives when knowledge is shared and enthusiasm is nurtured. And if you're watching this video as someone who's been carving for years or someone just starting out, I want you to understand that projects like this are not small or insignificant. They are foundational, because they connect skill, creativity, and purpose in a way that keeps you coming back to the workshop. And after all this time, that's what still excites me, seeing how a simple block of wood can become something that brings joy to birds, to buyers, and to the maker alike. And as you move forward with your own spirit birdhouses, remember that ease doesn't mean lack of value, simplicity doesn't mean lack of depth, and sellable doesn't mean soulless. Because when you put care, experience, and heart into your work, even the simplest project can carry meaning and success. And that's the real lesson here. That woodworking isn't about complexity, it's about connection. And when you create something that connects, it will always find a home. As we wrap up today's project, remember that the beauty of an easy wood spirit birdhouse is not in flawless detail, but in personality, warmth, and the story it carries. After years in this craft, I can tell you that pieces like this sell because they feel alive and handmade, and that's something no machine can replace. I hope this video inspired you to trust your instincts, embrace imperfections, and build projects that bring both joy and opportunity. If you found value here, please like the video, share it with fellow woodworkers, and leave a comment below. Your support helps this channel grow and keeps the spirit of woodworking alive. Until next time, keep creating, keep learning, and let the wood guide your hands.